Welcome everybody to the AI verse, and I wanted to bring the huge updates that have happened during September. So I said I was going to do it probably once a month, but it depended on the type of content that was coming out for that particular month. And there has been some huge developments in the month of September for artificial intelligence and metaverse, actually right at the end of September. So I wanted to bring that news. I wanted to share with you all. So without further ado, let's actually get into it. So welcome to the AI verse, where I cover everything to do with artificial intelligence, metaverse, the technology that surrounds it, cryptocurrency, and potential investment opportunities. So even though I'm not a financial advisor, these are just my own personal opinions, and these are things that I'm looking at as a point of interest. So let's get into the first slide. So let's look at AI. So the top story for the month was ChatGPT can now see, hear, and speak. So this is a phenomenal progression. So obviously ChatGPT is a large language model. It burst onto the scene in November of last year, and it really revolutionized the way people work and the way people use artificial intelligence. And so what it actually was is, before, the way that you operated with ChatGPT was you just typed with it. So it's a large language model. So it was all through text. But now it's actually expanding its sensory experiences, so it can now see and hear. So I'm actually going to show you a quick video clip of this, because this is phenomenal. And what I'm going to do is really highlight that this is actually starting to lead towards robots. So we're seeing robots, but these are the kind of things that robots are actually going to need to do. They're going to need to be able to adapt to the world and experience the world in the same way that humans do. So they're going to need to have their 5 senses. So now let's just play that video. It's on the next slide. Okay, so this is just a very short clip.
Future where AI not only understands text, but also interprets images. How is GPT-4V shaping this future? Welcome to the realm of multimodal AI, where language and vision intertwine. GPT-4V, the latest iteration from OpenAI, is at the forefront of this revolution, combining the power of text interpretation with image analysis. This integration is not just a step forward, but a giant leap in AI development, unlocking a whole new dimension of potential applications. From enhancing user experiences to offering unique solutions to complex tasks, GPT-4V is setting the stage for a future where our interaction with AI is not limited to typed queries, but extends to visual inputs as well. The possibilities are endless, and the impact is unimaginable. So,
I mean, look at this. This is phenomenal. Just something as simple as this. Is this a lever? No, it's not a lever, it's a bolt. So I'm personally not very car savvy, but I try anything. So I've tried to do repairs on my cars, and there's all these different things under there. And it's like, okay, how do I actually do anything here? I can now just take a picture, send it to ChatGPT, and get real-time answers. This is phenomenal. This is something that's so phenomenal, because really, with these types of questions, who do you disturb with these types of questions? You don't want to take advantage of your friends and keep asking them about all these things, or ask a mechanic. So now you can actually just do it with your own personal assistant, which is ChatGPT. So this is really opening up the landscape of potentials that it can actually do for the world
future
now.
where
So okay, on to the next slide. So big tech is starting to go all in. So this is phenomenal. So I'm just going to go through now all these different news articles just very quickly, acknowledging all the different things that are happening. So YouTube is going all in on AI. So they're starting to do AI-powered tools and things like backgrounds and video topic suggestions, really to help creators. So people are actually creating content. So myself, I'd like to create content. So now they're going to start incorporating these things and making life easier. This is the whole point. So there's also Meta, which is obviously the rebrand of Facebook, and they have revealed their AI assistant. So again, these assistants, so it's really about making our life easier. And so they also have these Facebook streaming glasses. So basically these bots create photorealistic images, and these smart glasses actually answer questions. So you can look at things, ask the smart glasses, and you're going to get updates in real time. It's going to be able to tell you things in real time. They have also done a huge update on their virtual reality headsets, and I'm actually going to be showing that later in the episode, because that is something that is absolutely mind-blowing. So basically, the competition is ramping up. That's what I really want to highlight. So this competition between all the big tech companies is really starting to ramp up. So first, Microsoft purchased OpenAI, And this is something where all the other companies have really started to, they have to adapt or disappear. And so as innovation goes up, price goes down. So this is the beauty for the consumer. Okay, so now looking at some of the things. So Intel is pitching the AI PC at a software developer event. So all these different things now that we have to use online and have access to the internet, which is pretty regular, but nevertheless, it's starting to expand out into our everyday objects. So this is already the case. You've got artificial intelligence on your Netflix when you're doing a search for something. The application actually recognizes what kind of things you like and it makes suggestions based on those things. So it's just becoming so normal. You don't even realize it. And soon it's going to be on your PC. So everything that you need is going to be on your PC. It's just going to get more and more easier to do things with artificial intelligence. So people are afraid of artificial intelligence. What can it do? How do I understand it? You're not even going to need to know any of that. It's just going to be in the background. So some of the big announcements from the Microsoft Surface event that I just wanted to quickly cover. So CoPilot. So who remembers Clippy? Cute little Clippy. So this is back in the day. Microsoft Office. So you can think of Copilot as basically like the Clippy of artificial intelligence. So it's really just an upgrade of that Clippy in a sense. It's something that it's really in the beginning stages. There still needs to be a lot of development on this, but it has begun. This is the important thing. So it's actually just showing how all these things are just continuously permeating into every facet of our lives. So here we have Bing Chat with Edge. So Edge is Microsoft's version of Google Chrome, and they're starting to incorporate it on their actual website. So you also have DALL-E 3 model from OpenAI. So as you know, Microsoft has a stake in OpenAI, and DALL-E is an image generator, just like something like Midjourney. So now I'm going to actually show a little bit about that Copilot and its capabilities. So this is really very exciting. So I'll show the video first, and I'm just going to quickly talk
Have you ever
about it.
wished for a personal AI assistant to help you with your coding tasks? Well, that's no longer just a sci-fi fantasy, but a reality that's reshaping the world of software development as we know it. This assistant is known as an AI co-pilot, a cutting-edge technology that assists developers, programmers, and other professionals in various tasks related to software development, coding, or even content creation.
Okay, so again, one of the things that people thought artificial intelligence would do is replace people who are in factories, people who are doing blue collar jobs, but actually it's replacing white collar jobs. So even now, developers, software developers, coders, this is something where, oh, I'm not smart enough to be a coder. I can't do that. I'm not good at maths. And it could be a very complicated task to achieve. So even for someone like entrepreneurs, people who are very interested in these things, but don't actually have the capabilities to actually produce it, they might have an amazing idea. Now, these things are only going to get easier and easier in this world of abundance that's emerging right before our eyes. So, yes, at the moment, it's an assistant to coders, but you can even, so I experimented with this the other day in ChatGPT. You can even give it a series of prompts and it will provide you with code. So I made a landing page, so a website for a landing page. So it produced the code in HTML, and then I opened it up, and it's like a landing page that you can adjust with the code. And I didn't have to know a single thing about coding. I just told it what I wanted it to do with natural language. So as you can imagine now, you know, Uber. How many people had the idea for Uber? I've often spoke about this with my friends, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was some sort of, I don't remember the language we used. It wasn't ride sharing, but basically like leveraging the idea of I'm taking a taxi and I want to be able to take other people in this taxi. So this concept, but none of us knew how to code. None of us actually had the network to actually get this developed. But now you can actually get your ideas straight down with just words. So this is the kind of world that's emerging. It's extremely exciting actually
Have you
because
ever wished
I
for a
love all this sort of stuff. So Nvidia, I love this. So Nvidia, if anyone takes note of stocks, they have actually they have skyrocketed. They've just gone absolutely ballistic. And the CEO is saying that India is a major AI market. So they're basically trying to hedge their risk with over leveraging in China. And what I actually love about this kind of a story is the prosperity that it's going to bring in developing countries. So India is thriving with blockchain at the moment, artificial intelligence. It's really thriving. It's really starting to develop. And so it's leading us into a direction where there's greater equality. There's going to be the gaps between these countries is going to get bridged with the technology that artificial intelligence is providing. So I think this is really something that's so exciting. Okay, on to the next thing. So now this is all the medical development, some of the really exciting medical development. So this is Mark Zuckerberg with his wife, and they have started a philanthropic venture that basically plans to build a computing system powered by artificial intelligence for life science researchers to study human cells and diseases. So what this actually means is disease prevention. So as they start to understand and this artificial intelligence starts to build up and understand all these different types of diseases, it's going to be able to connect all the dots in the same way that you're starting to see things like ChatGPT connect all the dots. And his wife, Chan, says that bringing the power of generative AI to biology at scale will allow researchers to incorporate these technological advances into their work, which will accelerate efforts to cure, prevent, or manage all diseases. So I think this is extremely exciting just to see once all these connections start to form with all these different platforms and all these different artificial intelligence softwares and computers, it's going to just be astounding, because then this is where we start to lead towards general artificial intelligence. So at the moment, this might be something that has a specific task of trying to do this one thing. And actually, as well, on that note, things that do just the one specific task, they dominate humans. So when they have one simple task, like there's Google's DeepMind, which played AlphaGo, it dominated the world's best player. Chess did the same. Like when it is something that has a specific single task, it just dominates humans. But it can't actually do things outside of that task set. So once it's actually starting to connect with all these different applications that are similar, and there's going to be things that bridge the gaps, the things that are going to start to happen are going to start to blow people's minds away. Okay, so then Microsoft open sources its EvoDef, which is a novel protein generating AI. So when it comes to creating proteins which help with understanding diseases and all kinds of illnesses, the major hindrance at the moment is the costs in the research labs. And this is going to cut those costs. So this is going to start to really drive innovation in this particular area. Then you have Google's DeepMind. So they have AI tools which assess DNA mutations for harm potential. So again, this is something where it's really starting to show that the AI is going to be able to start to do things like be a doctor much better than doctors themselves. And I think what people, again, I want to highlight is the exponentiality of the growth. We can't even comprehend this. It's already starting to go so exponential. We can't even see it. It's happening so fast. It's mind blowing. And I'm actually going to show later in the episode how fast things are actually moving when I show where Meta has come in just a year. Okay, so more on the medical front. So Elon Musk's Neuralink, whether or not you've heard about this, I'm not too sure. It's actually looking for human subjects now. So one thing that the company said is the initial goal of this is to grant people the ability to control a computer cursor or keyboard using their thoughts alone. So people who have paralysis and can't actually move their body, this is quite exciting for those kinds of people. So this is going to help with debilitating conditions. But there are a lot of things that surround this. What does it mean to put a foreign body in your brain? What's the research around that? I think that's something we have to be very careful of. But ultimately, it's going to eventually lead to this fact that a healthy mind equals a healthy body, and the relationship between a mind and the body. So I think this is actually really exciting as well. A really interesting story. Continuing on with medical. So they're actually looking at building in zero gravity conditions, so obviously in space. And one of the reasons why is space is a much better place to do almost any industrial process, said Joshua Weston, CEO of Spaceforge, an in-space technology manufacturer based in Wales. So we live in a planet where we're weighed down by gravity. We made ovens, refrigerators, and the vacuum pumps to help manufacture products on Earth. But if you could go to space, you get those benefits for free. So they're looking at things like harvesting crystals, where in zero gravity environments, it's a lot better. It's a lot cheaper, and it's a lot more conducive to actually those conditions. Also things like stem cell research. So this is also going to remove a huge amount of pollution from the earth. So I look at these sorts of things and I start to get really excited. But of course, it has huge implications on energy. And this is something I'm also keeping my eye on, because this is going to have huge impacts on how this whole industry develops. So looking at this, Microsoft is seeking a nuclear power manager as AI consumes too much energy. So this is phenomenal. So ChatGPT for every 20 lines of code that it spits out, it uses 1.5 liters of water. So it's actually consuming huge amounts of resources, huge amounts of energy. And so they're actually starting to look at nuclear power as a potential solution to this problem. This is another really cool thing. So I thought, I love imagining these kinds of things. So could space-based solar farms be a reality? So can we actually start to solve these issues by going out into space? We're getting closer to the source of energy. The energy is going to get transferred to the earth through microwaves. So it's going to be irrespective of clouds. It's going to be able to harvest the solar power just infinitely, basically, because it can just track and rotate with the sun. So once these things start to explode, there's going to be a coalescence. So there's this AI that's developing, there's all this computing power that's required, there's all this energy that's needed, and they're kind of like pulling each other up as they go. And then once they all start, they're just expanding exponentially. So the world that's coming is just, oh, yeah, we can't even really imagine it. So now onto the metaverse. So this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do a video. So ChatGPT and also this. So let's just have a quick look at, I don't know if anybody knew about Meta investing a lot. I mean, they changed their name to Metaverse. Meta, Facebook changed their name to Meta so they could really align themselves with the Metaverse. So this was one of their forays into it. This was Horizon World. So I want to just show this. So this is from about a year ago.
Welcome to a place of limitless possibilities. A place where you can invent things, transform things, create entire worlds, forge new experiences, and work with others. Jetpacks!
Okay, so this is a year ago. Now let's look at this. So I don't know if anyone knows Lex Fridman. So Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, had a conversation with Lex Fridman, and look at this. This is phenomenal. Let's have a look at this video. So this is in the space of a year. Keep that in mind.
This is so great. Lighting change? Wow.
Put the light everywhere.
And it doesn't feel awkward to be really close to you.
No, it does. I actually moved you back a few feet before you got in that set. You were like right here.
I don't know if people can see this, but this is incredible. The realism here is just incredible. Where am I? Where are you, Mark? Where are we?
You're in Austin, right?
No, I mean this place. we're surrounded by darkness with ultra realistic face, and it just feels like we're in the same room. This is really the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And sorry to be in your personal space.
Just phenomenal. So the growth in a year between this and that, the leaps and bounds. So it's something where you actually have to go somewhere to get a full body scan to actually participate in something like this. It's not really available to the wider market, but it's starting to show the direction that we're going in. So you can scan your body, you can go into this metaverse world. And at the moment, obviously, it's just these avatars, these real life avatars, which are us, and we can communicate face to face, just like you're listening to me through YouTube at the moment. We're going to be able to communicate face to face, put on these goggles. And at the moment, it's just this black world. But imagine what's going to start to happen, what kind of potentials there are. And so that is putting your goggles on, going into virtual reality. But what about the physical world and how that has impacts on the metaverse as well? So I want to show this next video. So this is, I'm not sure if anyone knows about the Sphere in Las Vegas. So it's this phenomenal, it's basically a concert hall, a new concert hall. But have a look at this. Have a look at how mind-blowing this is and what this can actually mean for physical spaces and the immersion that physical spaces give us. So that's phenomenal. So the sphere is obviously, it's self-implying. So it's essentially a sphere. So you're inside this sphere and it's like a three-dimensional experience. So your whole environment is changed by this sphere. So again, what can that mean for the metaverse? So right now we play video games. The video gaming industry is huge. We play video games by actually connecting up, looking at a screen, and then that's my experience here. What does this kind of thing, what does an application like this mean for video games? What does it actually mean for Web3? So there's some phenomenal things happening in the world and happening in all of this. So now looking onto investment opportunities. So there was someone who actually requested how this could be investment opportunities. And I want to actually just emphasize, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is one of the reasons why I'm looking at all this. One, I'm deeply passionate. And two, I actually want to have an impact on the world by actually investing in these things so I can have an impact on the world in a positive way and really help the world in positive ways. So this is something that is very interesting. So NFTs and real world assets I think this is phenomenal. It really democratizes investing, things like NFTs. So looking at this, the art world is basically something that's limited to billionaires, millionaires, and billionaires. You can buy a Monet, you can buy a Picasso, but you've got your entry point is huge. And so in order for you to grow your wealth through this particular asset class, you need to have a huge amount of money in the first place. But with something like this, it democratizes that process. You can just have a stake in it through NFTs. And it's the same thing that we started to see in the last cryptocurrency bull market. We've started to see it in a few different cycles, this idea of real world assets. So for example, as an architect, very interested in developing and creating a better society. So if I want to make a hotel, for example, what kind of hotel can I make? Well, first of all, I need developers. I need people with millions of dollars to actually invest in it. But that limits the people who can actually invest in it. But with things like real world assets and this NFT platform that's being created around the cryptocurrency blockchain, anyone can come into that. So it's like Kickstarter for developing real world assets. So you can get like thousands of people, millions of people having small stakes in the newest hotel. So it's not something that is just limited to a certain class of people. It democratizes that whole asset class. And this is what I think is really phenomenal. I love the democratization and the equalization of things. So it's not just limited to people with all the money. I think that's something that should be it should be fair for the whole world. And then in artificial intelligence, render. So for example, this is just one example. So this is a decentralized GPU-based rendering solution. So if you think about all the things that I've just shown, the kind of outputs, the power outputs, image processing, video processing, the kind of energy and data that it's consuming and that it requires, it's huge. I mean, if you look at the growth in something like this, the growth in this in such a short period of time. So from the 7th of November to the 15th of November, it was a huge, it just exploded. And now since the start of the year, it's also had it's had a huge rise. So it's done over a 3 to 4x from the start of the year. So this is something where it's playing into the narratives. Whether or not it works or not doesn't actually matter. It's playing into the narratives. That's the main thing. And that's why I want to highlight this next thing with the metaverse, Mana. So Mana is a virtual world. Oopsies. Mana is a virtual world. So actually, it kind of sucked. Like it was a ghost world. The graphics are terrible, but it still exploded. This was one of my best investments. So I pretty much bought in at the bottom of the last bull run on this on the 21st of June and all the way up until the 22nd of November. And it had a phenomenal explosion in price. And it was one of my best performing cryptos because I just rode the narrative. I saw, wow, this is a whole new world that's emerging. And I just put money into it and I did really well on that particular thing. There's a lot of people that I heard that sold it because they saw how crap it was, but in actuality, it doesn't matter. It's all about that narrative. So if there's something these goggles with Meta, for example, if we're in the midst of a bull market, it's going to start to raise everything with it. Right now, we're not in the midst of a bull market, cryptocurrency bull market. So things haven't really kicked off. So in any case, I wanted to just highlight all of that. And hopefully you've enjoyed that episode. So that was a big roundup of everything that happened in September. So I actually did do a previous episode of that. So you can check that out as well. So that was midway through September. And this is I just had to do another episode with the two major advancements. So the ChatGPT now can see, hear, and speak. This is phenomenal. So its sensory inputs are starting to expand. That's phenomenal. And those goggles with Meta and Lex Fridman just blew me away. And I've heard so many people talking about this. So I think this is a really fantastic thing to actually really start to wrap your head around. So, as always, I hope I've been able to distill this in a way that's understandable and relatable. I'm no expert, I'm just someone who's passionately curious about it. And I really hope you enjoyed the episode and you tune in for future episodes. So, thank you very much, everybody. Take care.